a person goes to a doctor and they're tired and they're fatigued and they're depressed and they're just looking and grasping at straws trying to figure out what is wrong with them. And so the doctor orders all the labs. They come back and they say, well, they're normal, so everything's fine. But just because a patient's labs are normal doesn't mean they're optimized.
I had so many people in my ear say, you're too young, your hormones are fine, you just had a baby. And it was very surprising to me that my levels were just as low as someone who's in their 50s and 60s.
Fatigue, weight gain, irritability, you can't sleep, you're waking up in the middle of the night, you have anxiety, you have brain fog, low libido.
And we always think, oh, it's just because I'm getting older, when really it's because we need our hormones optimized.
When people look at their hormones, they're like, oh, it's normal. But normal is not normal. But when you start optimizing, then their new normal is feeling fantastic.
Welcome to the Pulse Check podcast. I'm Brittany Kelley, manager of Renew the Med Spa, and joining me today is Tonnie Spivey, nurse practitioner. Many people know us for Botox, fillers, laser treatments, and medical weight loss. But today we're going to talk about one of the most fast-growing treatments that we offer, hormone optimization. Today we're going to talk about what hormones do, if you're a good candidate for the program, and how to get started. Before we start talking about that today, Tonnie, tell us a little bit about what you do in your role at the Med Spa.
Yeah, Brittany. So my name is Tonnie Spivey. Like she said, I'm a family nurse practitioner and I work at Renew the Med Spa. In the Med Spa, I'm responsible for doing the Botox, the Siemens. We do filler, medical weight loss, and hormone optimization like she was talking about.
I think what's very important is we have a provider who looks at the overall health of a patient rather than just treating symptoms. You're looking at a full comprehensive plan.
Absolutely.
Now let's dive a little bit into hormones and what hormone optimization is.
So that's a very big topic right now, and hormone optimization is very individualized and it is very based on the patient. So often a person goes to a doctor and they're tired and they're fatigued and they're depressed and they're just looking and grasping at straws trying to figure out what is wrong with them. And so the doctor orders all the labs. They come back and they say, well, they're normal, so everything's fine. But just because a patient's labs are normal doesn't mean they're optimized. So we come in, we look at them, and we work with you, make a plan to optimize your levels so that you can feel better and you can go on about your daily life and feel better.
And I think a big misconception is that only whenever you hear hormone replacement, it's that it's for only women and women who are in perimenopause or menopause.
That is absolutely not the truth. Men and women both suffer from hormone deficiencies. They get out of whack. I know one of the biggest things I noticed with myself was fatigue, but that was also a big thing with my husband. I noticed he's a go-getter. He's always outside. I noticed him being on the couch a lot. And so we brought him in, got his levels checked, and he was deficient in a lot of things also. So it's both men and women.
Yeah, and speaking about my personal experience, I had so many people in my ear say, you're too young, your hormones are fine, you just had a baby. But whenever we went to this training, I think a huge thing was my boxes were constantly being checked. Like, that's me. I'm so tired all the time. I have so much brain fog. And so whenever we got back from our training, I said, I want to immediately, have my labs tested. And it was very surprising to me that my levels were just as low as someone who's in their 50s and 60s. So this program personally has helped me a lot to just get my drive back and just feel more present in my life with my children and my husband.
And this is, Brittany, not the first time I've actually done pellets. I've done them once in the past, and honestly, I didn't see a great big difference. But we went in and we just talked about the pellets and the testosterone portion of it, and I got it. I got my boost, and I still didn't really feel great. What I learned whenever we went to this training is that it's not just cookie cutter looking at testosterone. We look at so many other things, and we are actually, like we say, we're trying to optimize all hormones to work together so that our body works in union and make us the best that we can be.
And let's talk about some of the symptoms that you could be experiencing with hormone optimization.
Okay, so it's things that we see and hear every single day. Fatigue, weight gain, irritability, you can't sleep, you're waking up in the middle of the night, you have anxiety, you have brain fog, low libido, all those things that we see day in and day out with patients.
And I think that's something we hear all day long is, like you said, I'm tired, I don't feel good. And we always think, oh, it's just because I'm getting older, when really it's because we need our hormones optimized.
Absolutely.
Our hormone program, we use Avexapil, and I hear you talk to patients all the time about the Avexapil method. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of touched on it just a second ago whenever I said we don't look at just the testosterone. So it's the Avexapil method, and it's a comprehensive approach. We look at one portion of it is the bioidentical pellets if a patient needs them based on their labs, based on how they feel. We also do nutraceutical support. We do custom compounding medications to patients if they need them. And then we also do lifestyle counseling, because that also plays a huge portion in how we feel, is what we take into our body, all the junk we take in, and what we're feeding ourselves. And so it's a whole program.
Yes, and I will say what's very interesting is it truly is customized, because every single person that we have, checked their checklist, we've looked at their labs, every single dosing program recommendation has been completely different from person to person.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about nutraceuticals, because I think a lot of people are like, I don't need those supplements, but in reality, they really do.
Right. So nutraceuticals are top targeted supplements, and they are individualized to the patients. Like I said, we get all of their labs, we look at them, and our vitamins are deficient, our diet is deficient, and the nutraceuticals come in and it helps balance things and fill in nutritional gaps until we can get everything where it needs to be.
What makes the Avexapil pellet so different than other pellets on the market?
Okay, so Avexapil uses the bioidentical hormone pellets, but it uses something called ethyl cellulose, and that comes in and it's on the pellet, and it's a more of a slow release pellet. It's not, you don't, so often with patches and creams and stuff, you get really highs and really lows. So you may feel really good and then you drop really low in a valley. With the ethyl cellulose, it is slow release, and it mimics more of our body and how our body normally produces the hormones and releases it in our body.
Okay. In the training that we went to, they mentioned a study that they had done, which was 6 months with only pellets and then 6 months with pellets and supplements.
Right.
And tell us a little bit about what those results were.
Okay, so they actually had lab results that backed up that if a patient takes the supplements, that their free T and their total testosterone stayed higher longer using the supplements. So up front, somebody may think, we're just trying to sell them a supplement, but it's not. We're trying to help optimize your body, and then your pellets can last longer.
If someone is listening today and thinks this is a program that would be great for them, what are their first steps?
So the first step is to call the office. We will get you set up for a consultation. We bring you in. We do checklists that talk about all your symptoms, everything you may be experiencing. We go through a thorough medical background history, all your medications, just your background in general. We give you lab orders. You get a full set of labs that checks all sorts of things that we are trying to make sure you're not deficient in. After those labs come back, we bring you back in. We discuss your lab results, and we talk to you about your lab results and if you would be a candidate for the pellets. If you are, then at that time, we will pellet you and then recommend what supplements you need. If you need any customized compounded medications, we will get those for you and get them shipped to your house. Very easy process, but it is not a cookie cutter thing. Everybody doesn't need a pellet, but if you do, we get those and what you need into you.
Wonderful. I think that a very important thing to mention is we're not just putting hormones into everyone's body. We're having a full individualized program per person.
Absolutely. We're looking at the whole person, and it's very individualized.
Let's talk a little bit about the insertion process, because whenever we talk about inserting a pellet, a lot of people think that this is a major procedure.
Absolutely. When people come in, they are very anxious. The pellet itself is just a little bit bigger than a piece of rice. We prep them, we put them on the bed, we do just a little local anesthetic, make a little incision, put the pellet right up under the skin, put a steri strip on it. It literally takes less than 5 minutes. And whenever we're done, patients are always like, wow, that didn't take very long at all. They're very surprised.
And I will say I've stood by Tonnie with these insertions time and time again, and I see patients that don't flinch at all. And so whenever it was my turn to get my pellet, I was very anxious, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to hurt, even though I know it would not. But from my personal experience, it was truly a piece of cake, and I am a baby when it comes to things like that.
Oh, you did fantastic.
So I will say recovery was pretty easy. You do notice it, you feel as though you backed into a corner, almost a little bruised, but outside of that, in about 2 to 3 days, it's completely gone and you're back to normal life.
Right.
We do tell patients for about 5 days, you do not need to submerge yourself into water. So no pools, no baths, no saunas. You need to be extremely careful with glute exercising. Men, we insert above the belt. Women, we insert below the belt.
Right.
And so in those areas, obviously, whenever you're working out, it can be very strenuous on the insertion. So we just tell them to lay off for about 5 days.
Right.
Once someone is pelleted, how long does it typically last?
So it varies from person to person, but on average, females are about 3 to 4 months and males are about 5 to 6 months.
And whenever they're taking their supplements as recommended,
Right.
we hopefully can get the lifespan to be a little bit longer than that.
Correct.
I think it's really nice with the pellets because they're not having to remember a daily pill, because tell them a little bit how the pellet works as far as the output.
So we insert it into the area, but it is based on cardiac output. So if a person is, a marathon runner, the pellet is going to get in their system more quicker. But because it's released on cardiac output, if a person's more sluggish and they're just more sedentary, it's going to be slower. So it's kind of based on, like I said, it's mimicking the person's lifestyle, and it will release based on that.
And whenever they were telling us about how it is cardiovascular output, they mentioned that think of it as every time your heart beats, it's like taking a lick off of a lollipop.
Right.
What are some side effects that can occur after being pelleted?
So most of them are all temporary, but we were putting the hormones in. So you do have a surge of hormones. And so whenever you do get some symptoms, sometimes people may get acne, some may get transient weight gain. Some people may have some breast tenderness. They may have some like emotional fluctuations, but all of those are temporary and level off once the hormones level off.
Yes, and I think it's very important to remember that part, that it will eventually level out. We have so many women who are like, I don't want to have a full beard, or, I don't want to sound like a man. I don't want to have acne, in my 50s, which we totally understand that. But it is very temporary and we want them to feel good. So not all of the time you have to not focus as much on I'm going to get acne or a few strands of hair, on my chin, more of this is going to make me feel better as a person.
Right. But a woman is definitely not going to grow a full beard like a man. I mean, that's a really big thing we hear in the office is they're afraid they're going to grow a beard. That's just it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about when they can see results after being pelleted.
Typically, it's about 3 to 4 weeks. I do try to talk to patients very upfront about expectations because everybody thinks that the pellet is a magic pill. I'm going to go in, I'm going to get pelleted, and just all of a sudden it's just going to be poof, I'm fixed. That is definitely not how it works. I'd like to tell patients all the time that, we didn't get like this overnight and we're not going to improve overnight. This is a journey and everybody's journey is going to be different. Brittany may get her pellet and in 3 weeks she may be jumping off the wall and all her symptoms are gone. But if you take somebody that's an older woman who's much more deficient in estrogen and more things that we need to optimize, it may take slower. As we keep doing the pellets, it gets better and better each time. But it is definitely a process. But we're here for the long run and we will work with you to get you where you need to be.
Another big question is this a lifelong treatment?
And Brittany, we do get that question a lot, and it's kind of depends on if you always want to reap the benefits of the hormones, then yes, you would do it. So much of our lifestyle plays a part into how deficient we are in all these things. We know that exercise increases testosterone naturally. So, I mean, if you go out there and you start exercising, of course, your testosterone is going to be higher. You may not need as much. On the flip side, we do know that as women ages, we automatically reduce our estrogen levels. So once those are done, we will never get those back. We know that estrogen is very important for memory. So I would personally always want to, when I run out, I would personally always want to get estrogen so that my daddy died of Alzheimer's, dementia. I mean, I want to protect my brain. We also know that with long studies with testosterone, that over time it decreases our bad cholesterol, it increases our good cholesterol. And so we have short-term benefits of the hormones that we're given, but it also has long-term effects in our life. You know, it also, with women with osteoporosis, we know that it helps correct and improve bone loss. And so it's not just a one and done, it's a process, and you keep reaping the benefits. Even when things you cannot see, it is working in your body for the good.
And I think what's very unfortunate is that a lot of the food that we eat, most of the food that we eat is processed and has lots of chemicals. And then we have some people who say, well, I eat clean, you know, I only eat vegetables and wheats. And what we don't realize is all of that is sprayed with something called glyphosate, which is a weed killer. And so we're constantly consuming that each day. No matter if you're eating your greens, no matter if you're eating a bag of chips, they all have chemicals. And that's a major thing that's throwing off of our hormones, along with
Plastics,
along with synthetic medications. I mean, the list can go on and on.
absolutely.
Tonnie, let's phone a friend. We're going to call Dr. Abraham Arapantu, who is one of our medical directors at the Med Spa, and get his take on a few things.
Hey, Dr. A, we would like to ask you a few questions, okay?
Okay. What's up?
Dr. A, what's the biggest misconception you hear about hormone replacement?
There's lots of them. The biggest one is the risk for cancer. And it's not safe and it's unhealthy. There's a lot of old data and old studies that say that, but we know now that the most recent literature is saying it's the exact opposite, that it actually may decrease your risk of breast cancer and decrease your risk of prostate cancer. So that's probably the biggest fear.
Okay, thank you. What do you wish more people understood about optimizing their hormones?
Well, you said it right there. It's optimizing. So when people look at their hormones, they're like, oh, it's normal. But normal is not normal. So a lot of these levels, like for example, so women, we look at free testosterone women, it says 0 is normal. How can 0 be normal? So when you said the word optimization, we want to try to push the hormone levels to the higher levels, specifically into the top 25% upper quartile. And so we shoot for that, and then we look to see how, or actually listen to the patient, see how they feel, because they're used to feeling this, feeling blah, but they think that's normal. But when you start optimizing the hormones, whether it's testosterone or thyroid or estrogen or progesterone, when you optimize it, then their new normal is feeling fantastic. So if they understand optimization, optimal, then they'll understand why we shoot for that and why they'll feel so much better.
Thank you so much, Dr. A. I think that's amazing and a great reminder that symptoms that we write off as aging could actually be and actually mean that your hormones need to be optimized.
Exactly. Who wants to age?
Not me.
No one wants that.
Right.
So this is a great way to feel younger.
Yeah. And anything else you want to add, Dr. A?
That's it.
All
Go
right.
for it.
We appreciate you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
See y'all. Bye-bye.
Before we wrap up, let's talk a little bit about other services that we offer at Renew the Med Spa. So Tonnie is, outside of doing her medical weight loss program and the hormone optimization program, she does Botox and filler, which she's great at. You can check out some before and after pictures on our website, as well as free consultations for everything, for our lasers, for the Botox, for filler, even our weight loss and hormone optimization program. Those are free consultations. About the lasers that we have laser hair removal, which Tonnie has taken advantage of and absolutely loves. We also have pigment reduction. We have leg vein removal. We have microblading, which is semi-permanent makeup. Morgan does that.
Spray tanning.
Spray tanning, yes. We have lash and brow tint, lamination, lash lift and tint. Pretty much anything in the spa-related world we have. We also have 2 massage therapists, Clarice and Deja, who are fully booked and would love to see you. They do have some openings, so check them out if you're interested.
Yes, so we are here just to help people look and feel their absolute best. Life is hard, and we are busy. We are busy working 40 hours a week. We're being moms and dads and being pulled in all different directions. But we are here to support you, to get you to feel and look better. I mean, it makes my heart feel so good whenever I can do some filler for somebody or some Botox for somebody, and they look at me and they say, "Oh my God, I feel so pretty. I want to cry because I feel so pretty. It's been a long time since I felt pretty." And so that makes me feel good. And when we feel good, we radiate, we beam, and we treat other people better. And so that's just what we're here for, is just to make life a little easier.
Tonnie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
And anyone out there listening, if you are interested in our hormone optimization program, weight loss, or any lasers, you can reach us at our website, booking online at www.renew@cp.com. And our phone number is 843-656-0100. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Pulse Check. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and share it with someone who might find it helpful. Your support helps this podcast reach more people in our community. Pulse Check is a production of Carolina Pines Regional Medical Center. Special thanks to our producers Hannah Cadell and Anna Tingen. Audio, video, and editing services by Seth and Grayson Johnson at Lockwood Studios. All content is for educational purposes only. We do not intend for the content to be a substitute for professional medical advice, counseling, diagnosis, or treatment. Our content doesn't engage visitors into a professional relationship. We'll see you on the next episode of Pulse Check.